everybody, and it's been quite a while. So yeah, I haven't. The only thing I've uploaded in the past like 3 months or so is a new channel banner for no reason because I was screwing around with GIMP, which is this thing, and it does Photoshop stuff, and it's free. And if you're interested in it, it's just called GIMP. Look it up. It's pretty useful. Uh, Good if you can't afford Photoshop. I'm not. I suck at it, but you know, a lot to learn. Anyways, so someone recently asked me what I record with, and I told them, well, good old handy open broadcaster software, I should say. And they looked at it and they were like, I don't understand any of this. I don't. I just don't. I don't even. And that's kind of what I was like at first, because I I was tired and I didn't know what I was doing. But I looked it up and I managed to actually puzzle it out how to do it. But basically, I'm going to make a tutorial on how to set this up, at least the way I know how, and I'm going to explain why you do what you do on each step. So it's not just like do this thing and then this thing and then it's like draw a circle, then another circle, then draw the rest of the owl. That's not what I'm going to do. I'm going to explain, hopefully clearly, step by step, what you're supposed to do here. Okay, so first off, go to the Open Broadcaster software website, which I'll put a link to in the description, and it should be pretty clear where to download it from on the website. That's the one thing I'm not going to explain, because, if you should be able to figure that out easily enough, hopefully. So anyways, once you've done that, and installed it however you like, um, open up the settings and get started setting it up. Now, the profile doesn't matter right now. I don't know why I named it local recording, because it's the only profile I use, and there aren't any other profiles. This notification area icon, I'm not quite sure what it does. I don't think it does anything important. Minimize the notification area just makes it show up in your tray over here. And enable cursor over projector. I'm not quite sure what that does either, but that's not really essential to setting it up. There's a lot of little stuff you can figure out as you go with it once you actually figure out the basics. But anyhow, right now we're just going over the very basics of getting started with it. For encoding, no, I don't want to save in the blind changes. A lot of this stuff, I'm not quite sure how it works. I am honestly not quite sure, and I couldn't tell you. You'd have to look further into it. Here are the settings every video I found on it strongly recommend. No, not custom buffer size. Use CBR. Max bit rate kilobytes per second, 7,000. Enable CBR padding, codec, AAC, format, 48 kilohertz stereo, and bitrate 128. Now, like I said, I can't tell you what any of that means right now because I don't know myself, but I would recommend setting it up like this because that's how I was told. If you want to look more into how to set this up, you may just have to look it up online because I don't have all the answers. I just want to give about as clear of an idea of how to set it up as a inept person such as myself could give. No. Broadcasting settings. Now, this is some stuff I can explain quite easily. Now, what I'm going to do right here is I'm going to explain to you how to use this for local recording. If you want to use it for streaming, like on Twitch or something, I'm the wrong person to ask because I don't really do streaming. What you want to do is set it to file output only mode. And for the file path, this is one thing you can really customize yourself. What I do is I have a folder in one of my drives that is just that I reserve for my YouTube stuff. And what you can do is basically create a folder anywhere you want on your computer, find it through here, navigating the different menus and stuff, and once you're there, make the folder or pick a folder you've already made, and what you want to do is whatever file name you type in here, like FFF letters, like I'm just going to type random letters. Whenever I make a new video, it'll show up as this FSAFHSAHFGH.DGH.mp4, and it'll show up in this folder named as that, the raw video file. And save it in MP4, please, because FLV cannot be edited with any editing software that I've found, which is really obnoxiously annoying. So anyways, it'll show up in this folder, or whatever folder you choose, with that name, with the MP4 extension. And if you, so that'll be every video you record. So I normally have it set to newest recorded video. And from there, I work with it. Like I rename it to something else, put it in the right folder, stuff like that. And basically, it'll save like this anytime. It'll save like this every time, I should say. And if you already have a video named that in the folder, it'll just do this thing and name it that name space 0 or left parenthesis 0, whatever number duplicate file it is, right parenthesis .mp4. And I think that if you have any more questions about that, ask me in the comments and I'll explain it more. These are just start stream and stop stream hotkeys, basically recording shortcuts. Like if I pressed Control F9, I would start recording. If I pressed Control F10, I would stop recording. Which, again, if you have any questions about that, ask me in the comments. So, for video, they're going to want to choose whatever your graphics card is up here where it says video adapter. And for base resolution, just do custom, and it's, I'm 99% certain, about 90% of the time, it's going to be 1920 times 1080. Just like that, which is the normal resolution for most monitors I've seen, most computers. And if it's not, well, whatever resolution your computer has, you'll have to put in here. If it's like a 3 to 4 resolution or a 4 to 3 resolution, I'm not quite sure what the default resolutions are for those kind of computers, but just look up or try to figure out what the resolution of your screen is. And whatever it is, put it in here for custom. Now, for resolution downscale, which I do at least, is I do 1.5, which means it's downgraded by 1.5 to 720p, which is, unless you have like a powerful computer that can render really well and record really well, I would recommend downscaling to at least 720. Which will be the case for most YouTubers. You can choose whichever one of these you want, but the lower you go here, the faster and more performance you'll get while recording, but also the lower quality the actual recording will be. So like this would just be 360p, 480p, 1280p, and this would be 1080p, which would take a lot of performance to do. And so I stick with this just for easiness. The filter I choose is bilinear. I'm not quite sure what this one does, but I think it... no. I think it cuts out like little jagged edges, but I really don't find it necessary. I don't think it's too big of a problem in the videos I've recorded so far. And I recommend a lot of the time setting your FPS to 30 because, again, it's like this... it saves a lot of performance, and there's no point in having like a 1080p video at 60 frames per second if you have constant lag spikes and stuff like that due to your graphics card or whatever being flooded with, I don't know what you're doing, why are you killing me, audio. So by default, OBS records all desktop sounds, which basically includes all sounds that you can hear from your computer. And well, it also records. It records your voice. So by default, it should choose your primary audio device. If you want to, you can go in and set it manually. I just leave it on default, and it works well enough. Same with microphone. Push to talk just means it only records your voice when you push whatever keys you put in here. Push to talk delay, I'm not quite sure what that is. Mute, unmute, mic hotkey, that's just like a little key or key combo you can press that will mute your mic and make it so people cannot hear you. Mute, unmute desktop hotkey will just basically turn recording of sound coming from your computer, like Windows system sounds or game sounds. It'll just mute those or unmute those. Force microphone auxiliary to mono. I don't quite know. I think that just means downgrade the audio quality, which I don't recommend. Desktop boost will basically make your desktop sound louder. Mic auxiliary boost will just make your microphone louder. It sounds a little more fuzzy because you're just amplifying the volume. You're not it's not actually louder, it's just making the sound that's already being recorded louder, which may result in reduced quality. So I recommend only doing that if you have to. And it only works in multiples of whole number multiples, which is kind of annoying. So you can either have one, or you can either have the same or double or triple. There's no in between. There's no like 1.5 times. So there you have that. This advanced settings. A lot of this, I probably can't tell you what most of this stuff is really. I left most of this as default. I didn't mess with this. So feel free to copy this and look it up if you want. I know that's not very helpful, just saying, oh, look it up in a video that's supposed to be a tutorial, but I don't want to give anyone false information and have them like go like, oh, that's not how it works. And well, yeah, this is a lot of, like it says, advanced stuff that I'm not really sure about, and I don't think it's really necessary to the core use of the program. It's more specifications. And this is the microphone noise gate. As you can see, as I talk, it goes up and down. And basically what it does is, I have it off, but it sets a minimum threshold for your mic to be recorded. So it only records your voice when the volume is above a certain level. And so this one, if I set it here, it would only start recording when the volume of my voice goes above this to prevent background noise. And this determines, so if it goes above the one on the right, it'll start recording. But once it goes below the one on the left in volume, it'll stop recording until it goes above the open threshold again. I have it disabled, like I said, and I don't really think I need it. My microphone's good enough, but you might want this depending on any problems you might be experiencing. So that's about it for the settings. And now you see cascading windows of doom. It looks like I'm firing mice into the void. But anyways, now the part of setting up what you want to record. So you have scenes, and scenes are basically just different recording setups, and you can toggle different sources on them on and off. See, right now I have monitor capture, which captures everything on my screen. So under miscellaneous, I can toggle that off, and then when I uncheck that, screen goes black. I can add text. Like a lot of this is more for streaming stuff. If you plan on editing your video afterwards, what you want to do, the only real ones you want to worry about is window capture, monitor capture, video capture, or maybe video capture device if you're doing a face cam or something like that, and game capture, which records a program. Like, say, if I wanted to. In the case of recording video games, you're probably going to want to go with game capture. To do that, you first have to start running the game, and then once it's running, you have to Alt-Tab back to this, go to right-click in the sources window. Once you have a new scene set up, just add scene. It doesn't matter what you name it. I'll make another scene just to show you. So scene ASDF. And then add a source. In my case, this source would be, I'm not gonna stay on that one because it, makes it so you can't actually see what I'm doing. I'm gonna make the source game capture, and it'll bring up this dialog, and you can enter it to whatever you want, AWD. And basically, it lets you choose a program here, which basically you choose what executable that's running you want to record. So if I had a game running, the game would show up as an application I can choose. And what that means is it'll record everything that goes on in that game window. It won't record outside of that game window, it'll just record that game window. And once you have this set up, you can hit OK, which I'm not going to do because I already have one set up. And then leave it checked. And then once you're done with that, once you have everything set up, your hotkeys and stuff, the preview stream button lets you see what your stream's going to look like, but it doesn't record the game while you're Alt-Tabbed out. So if you're Alt-Tabbed out and you hit Start Streaming, the screen's just going to either be black or nothing's going to be showing up. If you Alt-Tab into the game and then Alt-Tab back out, then it'll show a freeze of the game because the game technically isn't running on your computer while it's Alt-Tabbed out most of the time. So I think that's most of the important stuff. If you want to preview your stream, like look at it before what it's gonna look like without actually recording it, just preview streams for that. And start stream is exactly what it says it is. And once you've started streaming, you can go in, play your game. It should record all the sound from the game, all of your voice stuff. It should record the game. And there you have it. If you have any more questions, just let me know. I think I've explained everything clearly enough. If there's still questions that need to be answered, feel free to ask me, or if I get enough people going, oh, I still don't know how to do this, I might make another video to explain more in depth how to do stuff with whatever people are having trouble with. So anyways, good luck and happy recording.